If you ever wondered if you're getting a good deal using your credit card points, then in this video, I'll explain how you can quickly figure that out. Let's start this with an example of a flight, and then I can talk you through how I would think about this. You can see in this example, on the left-hand side, we have a flight from Atlanta to New York, and it's for a one-way ticket, and you can see here, if you bought the main cabin ticket, it would be $264. But on the right-hand side, for that same exact flight, we can look it up on Air France, and we can see that it would cost around 10,000 miles. So at this point, this is where you have to decide if it's worth using points or not. Here, I want to explain the other ways you can use your points because that will give you a better idea if you should use points on flights or not. For example, you can use your points for a Target gift card like here, and you'll see that if you want a $100 gift card, it will cost you about 10,000 points. And here, you can also see you have an option to convert your points just to cash back. So for this example, I'm using my Chase points, but you can see here for $100, you need to use 10,000 points. So that gives you a good baseline on how much your points are worth. So typically, they're worth 1 cent per point. Another way to think about it is that each point is worth 1 penny. And because it's pretty easy to convert your points into cash back, this is the safe and easy way to use your points. But if you want to use your points for flights or hotels, that's where you can get more value. But again, I wanted to explain this because this would give you a good idea on how much your points are usually worth. And by using it for flights and hotels, you can see how much more value you can get. Now that you know how much your points are usually worth, let's go look back at that flight example. For that main cabin ticket, it will be $264, but on Air France, it will be 10,000 miles. And to figure out if you're getting a good deal, you can take that $264 and divide it by that 10,000 miles, and you'll get that 0.0264, or if you multiply it by 100, you'll get 2.64 cents per point. Since we know that a gift card is only worth 1 cent per point, this is a really good deal because we're basically trying to get anything better than 1 cent per point. So it kind of depends on flights and hotels, but in this particular example, you can see here that we're getting a really good deal. I know the formula can be a lot when you first start using it, so we built out this tool to help you know if you're getting a good deal or not. So I went ahead and put the cash price up here and then put in the points here. And you can see, it'll calculate that amount for you and it'll let you know if you're getting a good deal or not. If you're getting anything above 1 cent per point, then it's going to say you're getting a good deal. If it's anything under, it'll let you know to use cash instead. With this formula, I know it's easy to get into the trap of trying to always get the highest cents per point, but I would just use this as a good rule of thumb to know whether you should use your points or cash. At the end of the day, you're not always going to be able to use your points for flights or hotels, so I would just use the points when it makes sense to you and just try to get anything above 1 cent per point since we can always get that with a gift card anyway. There are a lot of factors that go into the cents per point formula. For example, it depends on if you're using it for airlines or hotels. For airlines, I've seen some pretty big ranges just depending on your destination and when you're flying. For hotels, I've seen some more consistency, specifically with Hyatt, just because the way that they price their rooms, you're always getting a pretty good deal if you're using points for those. For example, I stayed at a Hyatt hotel recently, and I'll show you how much it would have cost if I had paid in cash versus how many points I ended up using instead. You can see in this example, this is how much it would have cost if I had paid in cash for this room, and you can see it would have cost $266. But on the right hand side for that same exact room, it only costs 8,000 points instead. So you can see here, I was able to get about 3.33 cents per point. So again, with Hyatt, it's just really easy to find these type of deals. So I would highly recommend if you're starting to get into the credit card game to start with Hyatt and then move over to flights. If you don't want to manually calculate that cents per point, we can use the calculator here, and I went ahead and put in the cash price and the point price, and you'll see here that we get that 3.33 cents per point. So this is an amazing way to get good deals using your Hyatt points. If you want to use this calculator, I'll leave a link in the description, so feel free to check that out. If you want to learn more about how to use your points for flights, then check out this video.